Welcome students. In this session, we will be discussing about OSI Security Architecture. So OSI Security Architecture discusses about three important concepts: security attacks, security mechanisms, and security services. Security attack. Any actions that compromises the security of information or system resources is known as security attack. Security mechanism. It is a process that is designed to detect or prevent or recover from a security attack. Security service. It is a processing or communication services that enhances the security of the data processing system and the information transfers of an organization. These services are intended to counter security attacks and they make use of one or more security mechanisms to provide that service. And now let us discuss about security attacks. We have two categories of security attacks: passive attacks and active attacks. In passive attack, we have two types: uh, release of message contents and traffic analysis. And the active attacks, we have masquerading attack, replay attack, modification of messages, and denial of service. The difference is in passive attack, it is very difficult to detect the attack, but it is easy to prevent it. Moreover, the system resources are not altered or modified. Whereas in active attack, it is easy to detect such type of an attack, but it is very difficult to prevent it. Moreover, the system resources are altered. So that is the difference between passive attack and active attack. So let us discuss about release of message contents. Here you have two users, Bob and Alice. They are communicating some messages. If the messages are happen to be read by some other third party or an attacker, then it is known as release of message content. For example, if a client of a bank server is keying in his user's credentials, say for example his password, uh, it is transmitted between the bank customer and the bank server. If the typed password or login credentials are known to a third party or divulged to third party, then it is known as release of message contents. Now let us discuss about traffic analysis. Here, the message which is being exchanged between two users are not divulged to an attacker, but the attacker can observe what type of message is being sent, at what time the message is being sent, and what is the length of the message. These kind of information can be observed by the attacker. For example, he can observe like the message being exchanged is HTML file or PDF file or something like that. Now let us discuss about some of the active attacks. Masquerading attack. Here, an attacker will masquerade as a genuine user and send a message or information to the another user. So the another user might think that the message is from the genuine user, but actually it is not. It is from an attacker. It appears to be coming from a genuine user. In this case, we have Bob and Alice. These two are the genuine users, and a message that is appears to come from Bob is being sent by Dot, and it is sent to Alice. Alice thinks that the message is from Bob. Actually, it is from the attacker Dot. Now let us discuss about replay attack. Here, the attacker will capture an earlier message from the sender, and he will be later replaying that message to the receiver. So the receiver might think that this message is part of the current conversation or current transaction, but actually it is an older message. So it will not be of any use to the receiver. So this is known as a replay attack. Replay attack may also involve masquerading. Modification of messages. So if suppose user sender and receiver are exchanging a message, in this case Bob and Alice. So some of the message might be intercepted by the attacker Dot, and he modifies the actual message sent by the sender Bob, and he will send the modified message to the receiver Alice. Receiver Alice might think that whatever message she has received is the original message, but in reality it is an altered or modified message by Tor. Denial of service. Thing is, here in this case, the genuine user is deprived of all the networking services or interneting services. So this is known as denial of service. So an attacker might disrupt traffic to a particular user. So the particular user will not get his services. That is an example of denial of service. So now let us discuss about different security services. We have 5 categories of security services: authentication, access control, data confidentiality, data integrity, and non-repudiation. Now let us start with authentication. Authentication is verifying and validating the identity of the communicating entities. So we have 2 types: peer entity authentication and data origin authentication. Peer entity authentication happens in a TCP connection oriented network. So it assures all the communicating entities, it assures the identity of the all the communicating entities in the TCP connection oriented communication. Whereas data origin authentication, it happens in connectionless network where each individual data packet might follow different routes or different paths. So in that case, it ensures the identity of uh, the data individual data block. So that is data origin authentication. Who has sent that data packet? So it ensures that identity. So next, let us discuss about OAuth 2. It is a protocol. Before that, let us discuss about what is authorization. So authorization means it is granting access to a specific services or resources based on authentication. It involves authentication, then only you can authorize. So, for example, there are a lot of services where we need not create a specific user account. So you can use Google services to log in. So you can have a Google account and you can log into your Google account to use that services where they use OAuth 2. So the login credentials are known only to Google, but it will not be known to other third-party service. So where they use this protocol OAuth 2. Now let us discuss about confidentiality. So it is protection of data from unauthorized disclosure. For example, if a user, say e-commerce user, who is using some online uh, e-commerce website, so he might be using the user might be using his credit card or debit card. So if those information, the credit card information is sensitive and it is being sent from the user into the e-commerce website. So confidentiality is protecting that sensitive information from being leaked to third party. So that is known as confidentiality. That is protection of data from unauthorized disclosure. So you have here 4 types: connection confidentiality. It is to protect all the user data on a TCP connection. Connectionless confidentiality. Here, as already discussed, in UDP connection, the messages, okay, a single message, you have different data packets. So the data packets might follow a different routes, different paths. So it is giving protection to that single block, that is known as connectionless confidentiality. and selective field confidentiality. Here, on a TCP connection or in a UDP connection, a single data block, it is providing confidentiality services to selective fields. That is known as selective field confidentiality. Then you have traffic flow confidentiality. So here we are protecting the information from being leaked. That is known as traffic flow confidentiality. Now let us discuss about access control. It is prevention of unauthorized use of resources. That is, the service controls who can have access to your resources, under what conditions access can occur, and what those accessing the resources are allowed to do. For example, consider a college hierarchy. Say a year coordinator can able to view the records or data related to his students. He or she cannot able to view or access the records belonging to another year. So that is that access is restricted. And similarly, HOD of a department can access uh, all his or her students all the years. He has a higher privilege than say year coordinator, but HOD can't access or read data records of other department students. Then you have principal. He has super privileges greater than year coordinator and HOD. A principal can able to access or view the records of any student in that college. So this is an example for access control. Data integrity. It is assurance that the data received are exactly as sent by an authorized entity. That is, it does not contain any modification, insertion, deletion, or replay. So here you have five types: connection integrity with recovery. Here it provides integrity of all user data on a connection and detects any modification or insertion or deletion or replay of any data within an entire data sequence. It also ensures recovery. Then you have connection integrity without recovery. Here, it provides integrity for all user data on a connection, but it does not provide recovery services. Then you have selective field connection integrity. It provides integrity for the selected fields within a user data of a data block transferred over a connection and takes the form of determination of whether the selected fields will have been modified, inserted, deleted, or replayed. Then you have connectionless integrity. It provides for the integrity of a single connectionless data block and may take the form of detection of data modification. Additionally, a limited form of replay detection may be provided. Then you have selective field connectionless integrity. It provides for the integrity of selected fields within a single connectionless data block. It takes the form of determination of whether the selected fields have been modified. Now let us discuss about non-repudiation. It provides protection against denial by one of the entities involved in a communication of having participated in all or part of the communication. Here you have two types: non-repudiation origin. It is a proof that message was sent by the specified party. And then you have non-repudiation destination. It is proof that message was received by the specified party. For example, for repudiation, repudiation means denial. Non-repudiation means protection against such denial. Say for example, a stock user, stock market client, he orders buying of a stock through phone. Say for example, he is buying some shares, some X shares. Later, he denies ordering that shares because the prices might have dropped. So first, initially, he might have ordered those shares at high price. Now the prices might have gone down. He want to buy a share at a lower price. he denies ordering the shares earlier. This is example of repudiation at origin. He is repudiating, he is denying. To protect against the repudiation, we have non-repudiation at origin. For example, in this case, the stockbroker can record the conversation. That can serve as a proof against denial of ordering the shares. And example for repudiating at destination. For example, one party might send money to another party. Say some A is sending money to some party B. So B might uh, deny receiving that money or that amount. That is repudiation at destination. He is denying receiving such a message or such amount. So protection, giving protection against such denial is known as non-repudiation at destination. Now let us discuss about security mechanisms. We have two categories: specific security mechanism and pervasive security mechanism. Specific security mechanism, it means that say for example, OSI layer or TCP IP layers. So there each layer provides a specific service as it has specific function. So specific security mechanism means it's providing a specific layer based services or device based services. So you have encipherment. The encipherment means it is encoding a plain text message into cipher text. Then you have digital signature. You have digital signature means it is used to give non-repudiation, and if it is a non-repudiation plus authentication. Then you have access control, then data integrity, authentication exchange. Then you have traffic padding. Traffic padding is to avoid traffic analysis. So you'll be adding some random bits to the data so that the attacker might be confused what kind of message it is, the length of the message, or the timing of the message, etc. Then you have routing control and authorization. And then you have pervasive security mechanism. It means that the security services or the security mechanisms are available at all the layers: trusted functionality, security label, event detection, security audit trail, and security recovery. So security label, for example, you will be identifying each security device. You will be having a label to identify each security nodes individually. So then security audit trail, it means that there will be a network log. It will maintain all the transaction happened in the network. So these are some of the security mechanisms. The purpose of security mechanism is to uh, avoid attacks and to provide one or more security services. Now let us discuss about the relationship among tax services and mechanism. So release of message contents. So this attack uh, is happened when data confidentiality is compromised. So to ensure data confidentiality, you need to provide encipherment, that is encoding of the plain text message into some cipher text, which is not easily understood by the attacker. Traffic analysis. So traffic flow confidentiality services will be compromised by traffic analysis. So to counter that attack or to provide traffic flow confidentiality, one goes for encipherment as well as traffic padding. Traffic padding, as we discussed, it confuses the attacker by adding some random bits to the message. Masquerading. So an authentication services are compromised by masquerading attack. So to overcome this attack, we use encipherment, authentication exchange, and digital signature. Replay attack. So replay attack compromises authentication and data integrity services. So to avoid replay attack, we use timestamping and also some handshakes. Handshake means authenticating both user and sender and receiver before actual communication happens. Modification of messages compromises data integrity services. To overcome that, we'll use digital signature and encipherment. And denial of service attack compromises availability service. And repudiation, it compromises non-repudiation service. To overcome a repudiation attack, we use digital signature and notarization. Notarization means it is a third party, a trusted third party, which uh, which arbitrate if any issues happen between sender and receiver. With this, I conclude this session. Thank you.